Hello, class. This is Dr. Ogilvy, and because the discussion board is extremely important in this class, it's one of two means of communication. And you have been urged to post any question about technology or course content on the discussion board. You also are urged to keep up with the discussion board, ideally daily, but if not, at least every 2 days. You can learn from other students whether you post or not. And I just want to show you a couple tricks. First of all, you can see that the discussion board is organized with the topics alphabetically. Web mic technical problems is way down here. And then we have, for example, the module labs, specimens, questions about bioluminescent specimens or web mic specimens here. Now, there are several posts on the course syllabus schedule website quiz. And so I'm going to click on that. And you see here is the thread. Now I have this as the tree view, but if we're on the list view, it would look like this. I think it might be helpful. You see, I am logged in as you would be logged in as a student. This is the student view of our course website. And you can see I have one unread post here and 4 here. Now a very quick way to go to the unread post is to just click here and it takes you right to that. And then you can back up and you could go to these 4 and you could look at those. Now if you do them that way, then it won't show that you have read them, because when I go back you will see that still says 4 unread posts. If you want those to be recognized as read, then I think it's best to go to the tree view. You see up here you can list view or tree view. Now when you do that, when you first do that, if none are open, you will see a plus sign beside each of the forums. And these forums were created by 2 of the members of the students of this class. So if I open those, all of them, and I want to read, let's say the first post and the response by myself and Dr. Weir, then I would simply check each one of these and click on collect. When I do that, then I can read through each of them. And I can mark them as read. So when I now return to that, if I say OK down here or hit the back button, and I go back to the main forum here or see it in the list view, I can see whether those were read or not. And yes, they were, because you see I have a 0 posts that were unread, that are unread in this forum. The other way of looking at these, I would urge you to stick on the tree view, but you can also use the drop-down menu and say collect for any thread, and then you can do the same thing. You just have to decide which is the best way for you, and then I can mark all these as read. Oh. Okay, I think I have them all marked as read. And then go back here. And what you want to do is you want to make sure that when you visit the discussion boards each time, you take time to read the responses. And I particularly think that it's very important to read here. I believe it was on the course. Where is it? Just a moment. Okay, lecture content questions. There are 5 posts here, and each of these posts is really this is my post where I just lead the forum off by saying module 2 lectures, and then you respond to those. However, up here there are 5 posts, and these are where a student was having trouble with a certain question on the Module 1 lecture quiz. And you see that Dr. Bao, our TA, has responded to those. Now I'm going to pause this because I want to find one more thread that I think is very important. Okay, here is the form I wanted to point out to you. It's in the syllabus course schedule quiz and under practice quizzes. So I'm going to go to the tree view here, and you will see that there were several responses to a question by one of the students in the class. So I'm going to collect all these like this, and you see this is the first one in this thread, and I think that this is the one that I wanted to see. The practice quizzes will not be graded. In the course check-in, it states that the practice quizzes are not graded, but under grades they have point values. Do those points actually count towards your grade? Well, Dr. Weir, our TA, answered the practice quizzes will not be graded. The column you saw in grades is just for instructor reference. And then I explained up here that I took it one step further. I even removed the sample quiz A and B from showing in my grades. And as I explained here, the only way that you can review the practice quizzes and the sample quizzes is immediately after you take them. There is an option that is presented to you to review those if you say OK on that page after you finish a quiz. And then I'm going to demonstrate that right now after pausing this for a moment. So it's clear to you that the best way to benefit from the practice quizzes and sample quizzes is to review them immediately. While you will not see a score in the Grade Center, you won't see a score on that page where you're reviewing it, but every question you will see whether you got points or not, and you'll know whether you got incorrect, and then you can review that incorrect answer. So I'm going to go and take a quiz real quick and then show you that and demonstrate that. Okay, I'm just going to take Module 1 quiz, but I'm going to not take it very long, and I've taken it before, so if you've taken it before, you're going to see this message. You won't be able to review your past attempts, but you can start a new test. And I'll just randomly choose some answers here so I can submit it quickly. I'm not even trying to put the correct answer down. So I answered maybe 6 questions, and I'll save and submit it, okay? And it tells me that I missed a lot of questions, but I don't care now because I just want to demonstrate this. Now, see, it's not going to give me the score, okay, up here. It'll tell me how much time I had in it, but if you want to review it, then you have to click here. And once you do that, then you can see whether you got the question right or wrong and review it. That's the best way to do it. Okay, so now back to the discussion board. Once again, the best way to keep up on things is to go to any forum you see questions about. Now I made these 3 threads, so when you post questions about the final exam, you post them under the proper thread that I've created. But in other places, it looks like there are 3 questions here. And let's see, and that occurred here. So already people have been asking questions about the first lecture quizzes. So you just need to keep up with all of that. And then the last thing I wanted to point out, if I go to my grades now, then I'm not going to see any of those practice quizzes here, and neither will you. So it will not clutter up my grades. Just keep that in mind. And also, when you review the lectures, you're going to see a green check mark, and then that knows if you have 100% green check marks for all 32 lectures, you're going to earn 50 points towards your final grade. But if I have a graded quiz, like the first module quiz here, when I take that, or I just logged in and maybe answered one question on the syllabus quiz, I can click on that. And then over here on my score, which is very low, I can click on it. And now I can review not only my score, but I can review which questions I got right or wrong. So that's the way, and if you had multiple attempts, in which you don't actually in any place in the course, so that's a moot point. So that's the way you review a quiz that you have taken. All right, I think I'm going to end this now, and I hope that has been helpful.